Welcome to New Birth Community AME Church, where our pastor and founder is the Reverend Kathy A. Merritt. Buckle your seatbelts as we enter into a worship experience with expectation to reach higher heights. You have officially been welcomed to NBC. Let's go!
Rejoice. Yeah. Lift up your hands, do your little dance, now give him some praise.
Rejoice.
From Sunday to Sunday, Lord bless, this ain't a game.
Rejoice.
It's uncut funk. Hit you in the gut, make it jump.
Rejoice.
Where the word is rightly divided, our pastor is solid, she preaching some knowledge.
Rejoice.
Bible believing and teaching, our people are seeking Jesus.
Rejoice.
Changing our life for a reason, this NBC every season.
Rejoice.
No sickness exists here, the word broken down, had to make it clear.
Rejoice.
1, 2, 3 stroke, can't tell me NBC ain't top tier.
Rejoice.
You're in the book.
The Lord is with me. And with
Rejoice.
also.
And with me also.
Hallelujah to the Lamb.
Let's go!
Rejoice.
May the peace of God be with you.
Rejoice.
This morning's message is entitled, He Brought Me Out.
Come on here. Yes. Yeah, he did.
He brought me out. I remember younger days, Lord bless, young days when I used to enjoy going into a haunted houses or houses of terror. And I used to think that was funny because, you know, everybody would be grabbing and pulling. And it would be just my opportunity to slug people who didn't know no better. You know what I'm saying? If you have some type of aggression, Monica, if you have some type of aggression and people going around screaming, they didn't know who was hitting them. I just periodically slugged some. You know, there was something about that energy. I thought to myself, my God, today this is great. And I thought to myself, man, what was I doing in a haunted house when I was living a haunted life? Everything that they tried to make me afraid of, I had manifested in my own life. You know, that was the abortion room. And then there was, come on now. He brought me out. So when I think of all the things that I had done and the fact that he continued to care about me, I constantly ask the question, what manner of man is this? Who is this man that I hear people talking about? As I ran toward him because I wanted to do, what must I do to be saved? And I thought to myself, all these times that I had watched scary movies, when in actuality, I was the scary movie. I'm the birthday. I am the birthday. I am. So I think to myself, the process, thank you. The process of this thing is amazing. I want you to understand as we discuss the year of grace and mercy, if we discuss grace, I want you to understand that there's levels to it. See, grace is a process, and it's important for you to understand it's not a one and done. It is not a 15 seconds and then ejaculation. It is not that. It is not that. It is a process because grace is continuous. See, some of us don't understand that. Once you've been polite one time, you think, well, I was polite yesterday. Do I have to be polite today? It is not the process of being polite. It is the action of knowing who God is and how he's working through you. I want to read, because it's the fourth Sunday, teaching Sunday. I want to read to you, if I might, the book of Jonah, the first chapter. I want to show you how he brought me out. I want to talk to any of you who've ever been in the belly of a whale. Oh my God, today I want to talk to somebody who's been in a place where they didn't know how to Sam Hill. I got there and they didn't know how to get out. Some of you are still digging trenches in the same place you've been in for years, but I want to let you know that how you can get, because he brought me out. He brought me out. Do you understand? I had a nerve to put myself there. He brought me out. All the poor decisions. Come on now. Come on, I'm talking to a few of you who ain't so saved to remember them one night stands. I want to talk to a few of you who used to stay. Come on, I want to talk to a few of you who used to boost things from the. I just want to talk to a few. I want to talk to a few of you who really, really, really slipped under the radar. And so, because no one called you out, you thought you had made it. Oh, until the chains got tight around your neck and you realized it was nothing but God. He brought me out. Okay. Just go. Can I read a minute? Let's go to Jonah, the first chapter, NIV. When you look at it, and I'm going to read the Lord from the NIV. The word of the Lord came to Jonah, son of Amittai. Go to the great city of Nineveh and preach against it because its wickedness has come up before me. So what somebody say, assignment? Now we all know how some of us shy from assignments. But he brought me out. Grace comes in levels. Go to the great city of Nineveh and preach against it because hush now, I'm reading. Go to the city of Nineveh and preach against it because its wickedness has come up before me. But Jonah ran away. Somebody say away. Somebody say ran away from assignment. But he brought me out. See, most of the situations that we put ourselves in is because we didn't want to go to the place that we were supposed to go to in the first place. See, we didn't want to go to the place that we were supposed to go, so we went somewhere else. And that's how your daddy's tires got flat when he told you not to go down that street. Come on, I want to talk to a few of you who used to take your daddy's car. He said, don't go on that side of town. Come on. Don't. Okay, you can relate. Yeah, so you got, and he says, don't go down the alley. And what happens when you go down the alley? You get a flat tire. God has a way. His grace. Okay, y'all want to finish reading this? You want me? Hold the hell a minute. Okay, but Jonah ran away from the Lord and headed to Tarsus. So not only did he not go where his assignment sitting, he had a place in mind that he wanted to go. Anybody had a place? You want to here? You finish preaching that. He brought me out. But Jonah ran away from the Lord and headed to Tarshish. He went down to Joppa, where he found a ship bound for that port. After paying the fare, he went aboard and sailed to Tarshish to flee from the Lord. So when do we find our most concerns? When we run from him, as opposed to running toward him. All right. This is what, and if you notice that the text reads constantly, he's going down. Look at the adjective. He's constantly going down. Verse 4 says, then the Lord sent a great wind on the sea, and such a violent storm arose that the ship threatened to break up. So now I'm going where I shouldn't be going, and now my car is falling apart. I'm not where I should be, and I cannot pray to him because I'm going where I shouldn't be going. How do you pray to somebody who gave you an assignment and you declared, I'm not doing that assignment, I want to do what I want to do? Who do you talk to? But he brought me out. All the sailors were afraid, and each cried out to his own God. Many gods were on there, and you were afraid to pray to yours. It says, and they threw the cargo into the sea to lighten the ship. But Jonah had gone below, down. Look at it going down again. But Jonah had gone below deck, where he lay down and fell into a deep sleep. Is this the time to take a nap? You know how we avoid things, and you think I'm so sleepy. I'm so sleepy. You need to go to the doctor, but I'm so sleepy. I'm so sleepy. I'm just sleepy. If you can just let me go to sleep, I'll be okay. I'm so sleepy. So he failed. You know how you're wrong and you try to avoid being wrong. So I'm so sleepy. But Jonah had gone below deck, where he lay down and fell into a deep sleep. The captain went into him and said, how, now Sam Hill, can you sleep? Oh, he don't say Sam Hill. How can you sleep? Get up and call on your God. I'm calling on mine. We need all the gods in the house to step up. Call on your God. Maybe he will take notice of us so that we will not perish. Obviously, the other gods weren't working. Everybody you clubbing with ain't on the same page you on. It says here, then the sailors said to each other, come, let us cast lots to find out who is responsible for this calamity. Let us gamble. Let us throw some dice. Let us do something else evil to figure out why I'm in an evil situation. Let us continue to evil to figure out who put me in this situation. Let us cast lots. They cast lots, and the lot fell on Jonah. So they asked him, tell us who is responsible for making this trouble for us. What kind of work do you do? Wait a minute. Why you so calm? What you got that we don't have? What's going on? What's going on? What kind of work do you do? Where do you come from? What is your country? From what people are you? Have you ever been berated with a bunch of questions when people don't know who you are? In the midst, while you're being calm and everybody else is scared, they want to know, how did you get there? Where did you get that from? Who told you about this? What must I do to be saved? There was a question here. Who is this man? He answered, I am a Hebrew and I worship the Lord, the God of heaven who made the sea and dry land. Wait a minute now. Wait a minute now. Now we find out in the midst of it, when pinned up against the wall, Jonah ran from assignment, but he wants to answer who his God is. Isn't it amazing how we get caught up in things and then we want to claim Jesus? We want to claim him when our bail is set too high for us to get out. Okay. It's amazing when you want to call the pastor and have the pastor pay for your rent. Come on now. And you ain't been to church all month. Now you want to recognize who your God is. He answers, I'm a Hebrew and I worship the Lord, the God of heaven, who made the sea and dry land. Oh, what a declaration. What a declaration. This terrified them and they asked, what have you done? You must have done something wrong to be under this condition. What have you done? They knew he was running away. You look, listen. I'm just reading the story now. Look at what it says. It says, sometimes folk recognize what you're doing without you recognizing what you're doing. Some folk recognize what kind of dangerous situation you put yourself in when you don't recognize what dangerous situation you put yourself in. It says, what have you done? They knew he was running away from the Lord because he had already told them so. He had told them again, yeah, I know he want me to go to Nineveh. I'm going with y'all to Tarsus. You know how you brag about something you need not talk about? Some of y'all flap y'all's lips way too much. Don't know it. From your lip, bumping the gums from your lips to God's ears. It says, the sea was getting rougher and rougher. So they asked him, what should we do to you to make the sea calm? Now we got a question. What should we do to you? You the one caused this. We was well on our way to the club. The car was running smoothly. Look what you done. The sea was getting rougher and rougher. They asked him, what should we do to you? I'm asking you, what should be your discipline? What should be your punishment? You know what situation you put us in. What should we do to you to make the sea calm down for us? Now, here we find in the crux, we find that others are recognizing his power and he's not recognizing his own. Look at the text. Sister Maddie, they're recognizing his power, but he's not. So they say the sea was getting rougher and rougher. So they ask him, knowing that his wisdom was lacking, he was just one with power. What should we do to you to make the sea calm down for us? Now read this again. We just eliminate him only for his activity, because this is how we treat God. Look. The sea was getting rougher and rougher. So the conditions were about to max out. So they ask him, what should we do to you to make the sea calm down for us? So obviously you're going to have to pay. It's going to cost you something because you wanted to go to Tarsus. Pick me up, he said. Woo! Now he's running away from his assignment. He's running away from his assignment, but he's proclaiming the power of God. Look at this. He brought me out. Pick me up. Look at the levels of grace. Pick me up and throw me into the sea, he replied. He didn't say, he said, throw me into the sea, he replied. Now, we find that already that the sea was getting rougher and rougher. He said, pick me up and it will become calm. Take me, sacrifice me. Now, how do you leave assignment and now stand up into God's blessings? Look at the text. This is the level of God's grace, because God allows you to say stupid stuff to him and still don't take you home. God has put you and brought you out of situations you know you should have still been in because you have ignored what he's called you to do. And I'm talking about some of you who are called, has called you to do something and you ran the opposite way. But each time he shows you another level of grace. So he's so full of what God is going to do for him. He said, go ahead, pick me up and throw me into the sea. He's trusting God, but he didn't trust God with his assignment. Isn't it amazing how some of you can trust God with somebody else's assignment, but won't trust him for yours? You didn't want to sing the solo until somebody else started singing. Now you're trying to oversing the soloist. You didn't want to usher till you like, well, I got a pair of white gloves too. White gloves don't make you no usher. But anyway, here what it says right here. See what it says right here. It said pearls make you an usher. Okay, here. Y'all silly. Okay, come on. Letitia, the usher walker. Okay. My God, today. Here it says, he said, pick me up and throw me into the sea, and it will become calm. I know that it is my fault that this great storm has come upon you. Instead, now, they're like, oh, no, we ain't going to do what you say. He said, instead, the men did their best to row back to land, but they could not. Why couldn't they row back? Because God had you in the place that he wants you to be. Sometimes, no matter how rough it is, he's in the place that he wants you to be. No matter what the doctor says, the place that he wants you to be. But I want you to understand today, he will bring you out. Okay, I'm gonna just tell you. Instead, the men did their best to row back to land, but they could not, for the sea grew even wilder than before. Then they cried out to the Lord, please, Lord, do not let us die. Please, Lord, don't let us die. Please, Lord, you come on. You ever had that prayer? Lord, don't let me get this high again, Lord. Please, no, but come on. You be so high, you're like, Lord, I'll never do it again, Lord. I'll never get this high again, Lord. Oh, Lord, you all fall down, Lord. Give me water. Look at what it say. Woo, Lord. She was almost pregnant. Ain't no such thing as almost pregnant. There's not an almost pregnant. You either are or you're not. Okay, I'm preaching. Be quiet. Here it says, then they cried out to the Lord. Please, Lord, do not let us die for taking this man. So they're more concerned about dying for taking Jonah's life than they were about the conditions that the Lord had made. We have our concern directed in the wrong places. We are so concerned with what somebody else is doing. No, be concerned with what God has placed you. You've got, okay. Please, Lord, do not let us die for taking this man's life. Do not hold us accountable for killing an innocent man. For you, Lord, have done as you pleased. Ooh, they recognize the power here. They recognize where they are, but they still have not relinquished. All they were concentrating on is someone else. You cannot concentrate on someone who's not accepted their assignment. That's what happens with some of your associates or your friends. You're too busy looking at how they're making it through. No. What's your assignment? All right. It says here, they recognize all the power, but they just couldn't line it up. Sometimes when we live life, we just can't line things up. And every now and then it takes a good deliverer, a minister to pull you back and where you're supposed to be. For you, Lord, have done as you please. So they recognize where the winds and the waves were coming from. Then they took Jonah. Oh my God. They didn't even give me a prelude. They say, Lord, don't let me die for doing this, but Lord, I'm going to throw him over anyway. Look at it. Look. Hold on. Me and Jonah. Jonah, you got to go. Me and Jonah, got it. Then they took Jonah and threw him overboard, and the raging sea grew calm. Hold on now. Is that not what Jonah predicted? Jonah said, if you throw me over, it will come, right? So if you trust me now, Jonah, why didn't you trust me and go to where? Nineveh. See, this is how God's grace keeps showing up. God could have clocked him on many occasions, but he just kept, maybe he'll learn. Grace comes in levels and increments. So then Jonah, they took Jonah and threw him overboard, and the raging sea grew calm. At this, the men greatly feared the Lord. So the purpose of, I'm in the wrong place, but I'm still saving souls for the Lord. Because all things work together. Okay. But it didn't have to be this way. But he is going to do what he's going to do, okay? At this time, they greatly feared the Lord, and they offered a sacrifice to the Lord and made vows to him. Now, the conclusion, it says, now the Lord provided a huge fish. Stop right there. He brought me out. There was nothing in that water that could hold Jonah to keep him safe. You all missed that. Grace. Provision of safety right there. You missed that. Most people thought, he's in the belly of the whale. The whale gonna swallow him and chew him. It don't say anything like that here. The conditions were God sent a submarine. It could have been a submarine that had a bed and breakfast. And it says, now the Lord provided a huge fish. That means he prepares. God's grace is constantly preparing you when you're ignorant. He's constantly preparing you. If my friends who are called, he come on all those times you were doing things without wearing a Jimmy. He prepared. We have been in situations that we put ourselves in. The provision that was offered to Jonah was he declined to go to where the Lord sent him. He declined the assignment, but all the while, God never lifted his grace. God has never lifted his grace in the midst of all your ignorance. It says not only did he not lift his grace, he provided something. He made something for him. And this was called a fish. First of all, know anything about history, whales could not survive in that climate. There was no such thing. So he had to create a big fish because it was known for fishing. All right. So there was not a whale because the whale have to survive under certain temperatures and certain degrees, and then it could not in that time. Okay. And so what happens is he made a fish. He made a black bass big enough to hold my fat ass. No. Let's talk. That was bad. Well, okay, sorry, Mom. Mom said pass. I'm just saying. There's got to be a walleye out there with my name on it. You hear? There's got to be some croaker big enough to hold my fat behind. Do you understand what I'm saying? God is constantly showing you grace by creating things that save you, and yet you're running from him. Stop running from him and start running to okay, hold on. It wasn't the fact that he brought me. It wasn't the fact that he was swallowed. It wasn't the fact that he swallowed. It wasn't the fact that he swallowed Jonah. Swallowed. You all watch too much social media. TD Jakes ain't gonna be pleased with you. Now the Lord provided a huge fish. I like this interpretation because when you tell a story to a kid, you try to make him understand it. In the belly of the whale, no. Let's think tilapia. Can we say fish? Let's think perch. Let's think grouper. You hear what I'm saying? Whiting. Flounder. Okay. He created something large enough to envelop Jonah and he was in the belly of the whale. He wasn't just there for a day. Now, this number keeps occurring when it calls somebody to be raised or brought out. It says he was there 3 days and 3 nights. Now those three, that thing, who else was somewhere for 3 days and was rose again? Somebody else in the Bible talks about 3 days and rose again. There are certain situations that he prepares you an encompassment, a conduit, so to speak, a place that you are protected, because the sea would have took him down. But he put him in a place that the sea, something had to be used to the torrid weathers that it was in. Do you see the thought behind his grace? And you're running from him? You're running from assignment from God, and all he does is wants to care for you. He brought me out. Well, let me tell you about how he brought me out. There's been places and things that I know I shouldn't have done, and he brought me out. There were people I've been with, and I know I shouldn't have been with, and he brought me out. There was places that I called names as if they knew me, and they didn't, and he brought me out. Every time I turn around, he just keeps what? Bringing me out. Look at the text. I'm done. Look at the text. Every time we read something, he didn't become stronger. He needed that strength in the beginning so he could eliminate all that. But Jesus said, God says, but if you're going to do this ignorant stuff, let me go ahead and show you grace. Since you're going to be ignorant, let me show you grace. Since you want to do this and you did it before, let me show you grace. It didn't work out for you well that time, but since you didn't get caught, you thought you wanted to do it again. Let me show you grace. There's levels to it. Grace is not one and done. No, it's a process. God is trying to win you with his love, not with his discipline. But then there comes a time when the first night it was dark in that belly and he was all alone. God will temper you in a dark place until you realize who he is. Oh my God, he just don't show up and rescue you. No, when he hung on the cross of Calvary, no one rescued him. No, you sit there for a while. It was the 9th hour. Yeah, first day, he's still in the belly. Guess what else was in the belly? All those people you did wrong. Second day, still no rescue. But you know who he is. You know who he is. You said, go ahead and throw me in the water. You know who he is. That second day, it got kind of risky. I know who you are. When do you cry out to God? Get me out of it. Not once did Jonah cry out because he knew God. Some of you know God and still don't do the right thing. Second day it grew dim and darker. Dim and dark. It began to smell of stench. But yet Jonah was still alive. Things were floating dead all around him, guts and everything else. But Jonah was still alive. Yeah, those are signs that he will bring you out. If you're still alive in a dark place, he will bring you out. If you are still alive and you know you knee deep in your stuff, he will bring you out. There's levels to this. I'm hungry and it's time to go home. Yeah, getting out the belly was just a blessing. That was no big deal. Blessings is what God does. It was the temperate time in the belly that we need to focus on. It's the dark places and everything else around us is dead. That's what we need to focus on. Yeah, I'm still here. Look at your neighbor and say, I'm still here. Out of all I've been through, out of all the places I shouldn't have been, I'm still here. The doctors gave up on me and I'm still here. Hallelujah. Thank you, Paco. Jesus spoke. Some of you didn't pay your light bills, but I'm still here. Yeah. Things floating dead all around you. Don't focus on what's floating around you. Focus on what he is to you. I'm still here. When Jonah realized by the third day, he was still there. It was then God says, time. He brought him out. You don't get to bring yourself out of the temperate place. You had an opportunity, but you decided to go to Tarsus. You had an opportunity and you ran. So now you got to go through the process. Somebody says it's a process. It's just a process. Kim, surgery is just a process. Jeanette, surgery is just a process. You know why? He's going. I don't know how to get out of this relationship. I don't know who to tell. I'm scared. Ooh, bide your time. You know who he is. He will bring you out. The word of God for the people of God. Amen.